My camera is so rude. Cut me off again. Welcome, fellow chatterers and readathon lovers, to the unexpected part 2 of Journey-athon Announcement. My camera cut me off because it was full. So this is the second part. If you are very confused and have not seen the first part, I suggest you go and see the first part so it all makes sense. That is linked here, so go along, watch that video, and then come back if you feel like it. We would love to have you. I am going to carry on from where I got to, which was talking about Anne of Green Gables dyeing her hair green. So if you have a copy of Anne of Green Gables where she's dyed her hair green, maybe I dreamt up this book cover, but I'm sure I saw it somewhere. That would absolutely count for a book featuring a catastrophe on the cover, or disaster on the cover. Can't remember how I phrased it now. Okay, moving on. So the Smoky Mushroom, if you are traveling to it via the, here it is, the water path, then you would need to read a book with a mystery word in the title or in the series. So something like mystery, secret, detective, unexplained, anything like that would count. And then finally, from the Smoky Mushrooms, if you are taking the land path here, the earth path with land travel, then you would need to read a book with something cosmic in the title or series. So anything like sun, moon, galaxy, stars, rockets, any planets, anything like that, midnight, all of that would count. Okay. So the next place we get to on our journey is the Boardwalk Theatrics. So not everyone's going to get to go here because there's like only 2 paths from the Smoky Mushroom to Boardwalk Theatrics, and that is the sea, that is sea travel, and that is land travel. So if you were getting to Boardwalk Theatrics by sea travel, you need to read a book that is part of a series, just like Drama and Danger is part of the Lizzie and Belle Mysteries series. If you are getting to Boardwalk Theatrics by the Earth Path, then you need to read a book that is a standalone, like See You in the Cosmos is a standalone. And then the next place we get to is Observatory Towers. And you can only get to Observatory Towers if you travel there on foot, taking the Earth Path. And for that one, you need to read a book with an animal companion or an animal pictured on the cover. Simple. Just like See You in the Cosmos has. And then from the Observatory Towers, you can then go on to Whittle Village. You can, of course, get to Whittle Village from Boardwalk Theatrics by the Sea Path, or from the Smoky Mushrooms by the air path. So if you get to Whittle Village on Broomstick via the air path, then you need to read a recent purchase. So any book that you have newly acquired, if you are not someone that buys books, then just like whatever's recently come into your house or like you've just gotten hold of. To follow the water path, and to get to Whittle, let's try that again. To get to Whittle Village via ship on the water path, then you need to read a TBR vet. So reading something older that you've had hold of for a while is the prompt for that one. And then finally, if you are walking from Observatory Towers from to Whittle Village, then you need to read a book that you have borrowed, whether that's from a library or from a friend. That absolutely counts. If you are not someone that borrows books, but you want to do that particular prompt, you'll need to get just a little bit more creative. And you could do something like a friend recommendation, like if you were to lend me a book, which one would you lend me, or something like that. And then you could go and get hold of it however you usually get hold of it. But that's kind of the idea behind it. So a new book, an old book, or a borrowed book. And moving on. So we then have the Grumbies. So here are the Grumbies. And if you get to the Grumbies via the water path, you need to read a book set in the past. So any kind of historical Any book that's got a bit of historical fiction in it would count. So even if it's like not fully set in there, but if there is one that has a link to the past, that would absolutely count. If you wanted to get to the Grumbies via the air path, then you need to read a magical book. So this can be full-on fantasy, book with a little bit of magical realism in it. You know, it varies. As long as it's got a magical element to it, like even Roald Dahl's like The Queen's Nose, where it's just like a coin, just a magic coin, but everything else is kind of like set like contemporary, or what would have been contemporary when it was written. What was that? No, that was Dick King-Smith. Ignore that. Dick King-Smith, not Roald Dahl. Dick King-Smith wrote The Queen's Nose, and then that would count as a magical book. And finally, to get to the Grumbies via the Earth Path, then you need to read a book that has a quest. Only a few more places to go. So the next place we get to, place number 7, is Sancho's Artistic Port, which is here. So just 2 paths for this one. So we have the water path, and for that one you would need to read a cozy book that makes you feel safe, or a book that has a bright and colourful cover. Now, the reason I've gone for that prompt is because if you've been taking the water path, we've pulled into port here. So we've pulled it, so you've been travelling on a ship, but when you get to Sancho's Artistic Port, you can get off the ship. So the ships can feel a little bit scary from the Lizzie and Belle mysteries because of their link with the slave trade. But from Sancho's Artistic Port, you can get like a nice little rowboat and you can row across to CiTea O'Partea. So that's why it's like a cozy book that makes you feel safe, or brightly coloured fun. And if you get to Sancho's Artistic Port by the Earth Path, then you need to read a dark book, or a book with night sky colour tones. See you in the cosmos, night sky. And then here we have number 8, place number 8. If you go to Camp Launchpad via the Earth Path, then you need to read a book with an object on the cover. And if you get to Camp Launchpad because you've popped off on your magical portal and just dropped in, and then you'll get travelling on to CiTea O'Partea via Camp Launchpad, then you need to read a book with a magical artefact. So it doesn't have to be pictured on the cover, but as long as the book features a magical artefact, or there is a magical artefact in the story, that would absolutely count. And finally, we get to CiTea O'Partea. Everyone is here. And for CiTea O'Partea, just need to read a middle grade book. Doesn't matter what it is, any middle grade. Read one of those and you're sorted. So for this, you can mood read and just read whatever middle grade you like. Or if you're someone that wants a book chosen for them, then you could just pick out of 8 titles because of our compass points. So you could just pick one of 8 and then do a wheel spin or something like that to choose your book. Or you can do a random prompt pick. So if there are certain prompts that you haven't landed on that you'd like to try, you could just put them all in a jar and then pick one. So you've got kind of like a random aspect to it. It is completely up to you how you do this. So those are all the prompts. Like I said, I am going to have them in the Google Docs. I'll have them in the Google Docs so you'll be able to read them. So I'm now going to talk about the journey. So obviously I've spoken a lot about the 4 like different set journeys where each path is depicted with the different travels, and that gives them the prompts. So you could choose to follow the magic path, you could choose to follow the air, the water, or the earth, reading respectively 1 to 4, 5, 7, or 9. But you can mix and match, so you can change paths. So for example, you might decide that you want to start off by following the sea path. So doing sea travel along the water path. So you get to Smoky Mushrooms and then you get to Boardwalk Theatrics. But then you might decide, actually, I just want to get to I want to go and see Observatory Towers. So you then take the walking path to Observatory Towers and then walk to Whittle Village and then go back on the sea path to the Grumbies. So you can absolutely do that. You can like hop off and hop on again. It is completely up to you. It should be clear on the map if you follow it which paths link where. But if you're having any trouble, please let me know. I do kind of correlate. I will have the explanation. So I've got it sort of in my book here. So the different prompts, it will say like if you're going by a ship, if you're walking, just to try and make that a little bit clearer as you go along. So that will all be in the Google document. So yeah, you can absolutely change methods and paths as you go. You can even go backwards and forwards if you want to. If you're someone that reads a lot and you're like, actually, I kind of want to do different prompts again, then by all means, you know, you could be at Whittle Village and having got there via the sea and go, actually, you know what, I want to fly back to the Smoky Mushrooms and then walk to Boardwalk Theatrics, and then I'm gonna take the and then I'm going to walk to Observatory Towers and then walk along there, and then I'm going to choose to fly to the Grumbies. You know, you can just mix it up. So whatever you feel like you want to do, go for it. It's totally up to you. And also with the prompts, you know, if you feel that it fits that prompt, great. There is not going to be any kind of readathon inspectors coming around and saying, well, that book doesn't fit that prompt. You absolutely can't read that. No points for you. You're having fun. Like, if you feel it works, it works. That's all we care about. We don't really mind. It's just fun. I find it fun to fit books to prompts, and I presume if you like readathons, you do too. So you can, so as much as you want to jump around and read many, many different things and go up and down and sideways and left and right and all of that jazz, you can just read one book. Literally just read one book. So I'm going to kind of explain the portal path a little bit more so you know what I'm talking about. So for the magic path, travelling by portal, you could choose to go to Readathon with everyone else, take the magical portal path down to CiTea O'Partea, and there you go, read the middle grade. You're done. Finished. Or if you just want to read two books, you could be at Readathon and you could read a book with transport on the cover, and then take the portal path, travel there, and then read whatever middle grade book you like. Or you could travel to and stop at Camp Launchpad, because as you can see, the magical portal travel goes through Camp Launchpad. So you could just hop off there if you wanted to. So if you didn't want to read the first prompt, you could just travel from Readathon to Camp Launchpad, read a book about a magical artifact, and then get to CiTea O'Partea and read a middle grade. It is flexible and designed for you. So make it work however you want to. If you do want me to go through the paths a little bit more, then please let me know, and I will do a little video where I will just talk you through all the paths. I'm probably going to do one of those anyway, because I am very aware, as much as I enjoy something visual, not everyone has visual ability. So I will do one where I literally talk you through. So there is the auditory version of this map, so you can still join in this readathon and access the fun. Oh, that was one more thing. So you can also double up on prompts, but only if they're next to each other. So for example, you can't go, okay, what was a prompt? Okay, so you can't read a book with an animal companion from Observatory Towers and then also read a book that's got an object on the cover, because Observatory Towers and Camp Launchpad are not next to each other. There is no path connecting those places. So your book with an object on the cover and an animal wouldn't count for two things. But you could read a book that was that had an animal companion that also, just remind me what the Boardwalk Theatrics prompts were, a book that's a standalone. So you can have a standalone book that has an animal on it, and then you could then tick off both Boardwalk Theatrics and Observatory Towers for the Earth path. That would definitely work. So it's all about making it work for you. Within reason. There's a little bit of rules in there. Just a little bit of rules. Okay, so the Google Docs. To try and make it as simple for you as possible, I have a map that is blank. So if you want to plot out your own path to make it clearer what you want to do, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. I will also put up the one that is just the magic path, just the water path, just the air path, and just the earth path. And I will also put one that's all of them, so you can go crazy. And it will also include the key as well, so you know what bit means what. And there will be a list of all the prompts, so it's easy to follow. And then I've got some other little bits and pieces that's just quite fun. So I'm hoping, so this one may or may not happen depending how we go, but I would like to have a Google spreadsheet with the prompts, so all 19 of the prompts, and then book recommendations listed, so you can have a look through there. That would be nice, but it might not happen because life. But that would be nice if I could manage to do that. I will be putting up like a template for like a reading log. So, you know, like a ship's log when you go on a journey, like, you know, the date you arrived and the date you left. So that would be like prologaton, date arrived. So whatever time when you started reading the first book with a mode of transport on the cover, and the date you finished it, like space for your thoughts. If you wanted to do like a little cutout of the book title to put in there, like all of that stuff, so it's like fun to kind of build up a journal or something. So that's going to be something that I'm putting up on the Google Docs. There will also be like a passport, so you can like tick off all the places you get to, and you could put like what you read for each one and what path you chose to go by, and you should be able to get like little, I'm doing like a sheet of like little tokens. So I'll go into the tokens in a minute, but you could like stick them on, or maybe even we'll do some stickers. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, or you could just, you know, if you're someone who's got a stamp, you could just like stamp your own passport that you've been to those places. It's just fun. I just thought it'd be fun to do. So it's not like integral to the readathon, but I just thought it'd be fun. And I thought I'd put somewhere where you could like log your intended journey and then what your actual journey was, so you can see if you stuck to it or if you went rogue. Again, just for fun. So the tokens, I am hoping to get together like little just individual graphics of all of the places, because I'm just so impressed with what Vicky came up with, and just want to have those accessible so you can like do journals and things like that. So I should have those, and also I have 4 tokens which you can use as counters, so you could like move yourself around on the map. So like you're here, and then the next place you need to get to. So it's kind of like you are logging your own journey as you go on. Again, it's just for fun. So the tokens are just the 4 different paths with things that kind of reflect that method of travel and the book that inspired them. And also I'll have the different path elements as well. So you can have your water and your air little symbols. And also tickets for the different methods of getting around. So you can pop those in your passport as well. Like you've got your air travel ticket or your flight travel ticket. No, it's the same thing. Your ship travel ticket. So it's just like little fun bits that I thought would be nice to have. And I'm hoping, it's still like I've not done it before and I'm rubbish with technology, but I'm hoping to do one of those links through Redbubble where you could print out some bookmarks and stickers with Journey-athon related stuff on there, so you could then put like little stickers on your charts and things if you want to, of like Prologue Turn and CiTea O'Partea and things like that. But as work in progress, we'll see. But that's something I have spoken to Vicky about. It would be really cool if we could do that on Redbubble. So I will let you know and keep you updated about that if that happens. And do join the Middle Grade Mad Chat Discord. It's really lovely. It's a little small community of people, but we're just all people that love middle grade or are interested in trying to read more middle grade. So you can dip your toe in. There is a section of book recommendations. In fact, if you want to know more about it, I will leave the link here to where I talk about the Discord. If you are not someone who's familiar with Discord, so you can have a look at that and see if that's something that might be fun for you. But I have now added, I've changed it slightly, so there's now like an organisation section in there, and I now have a Journey-athon section in there as well. So it should like be a welcome space, a place with all the graphics, a place where you can ask all the silly questions, like whatever it is, just ask away, it's fine. And people can announce if they're wanting to do any sprints, and place to share journals, place to share what your reading journey plan is, and just general chit chat. So just lots of fun bits for everyone to kind of like enjoy the chatter, because we love a chat. Was there anything else I needed to say about that? Don't think so. So I'm going to move on to points. So if you wanted to do some points for this, this is how it's going to work. And again, I will have a document with this available so it's clear. So I'm going to get my book so it's easier to see. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And actually I'm going to put that one on top because it doesn't have a spine because I've stuck a bit of paper around it. There we go, that's better. There we go, 4 books to demo. I'm just going to have some tea. Okay, so the idea is that you accumulate points, just because sometimes it can be fun. So the last book you read for Journey-athon is worth 10 points. So if you just read 1 book for Journey-athon, you get 10 points. Lovely. If you read 2 books for Journey-athon, you get 1 point for your first book and then 10 points for your second. So that's 11 points. If you read 3, 4, etc., etc., it would be 1 point, 1 point. Your last book is 10. If you read 5, I need another book. Oh, no, let's get an actual middle grade here. Here we go. Come out, Tiffany. Or is she YA? Oh, I'm going to count you. Got Tiffany. It doesn't really matter. It's just a demo. If you read 5, you get 1 point for your first one. Oh, I've done it the wrong way around. 1 point for your first one. 1 point for your second, so that's 2. Because your aim is 5. 1 point for your third, so you're on 3 points. For your fourth, you get, here's 5. Hold on. Where's my other bit? Double checking that I have got this correct. You get 2 for your fourth. So then you're on 5 points. And then for your last one, you get 10. So that's a total of 15 points. And so on and so forth. So 4 books, 1 point, 10 points for your last one. More than 4, first 3 books are 1 point. Any books after that are 2 points, and your last one is 10. So depending on what your reading plan is. And again, there is no book inspectors. There's no readathon inspectors. You are responsible for you. So you do you. If it's fun for whatever way you do it, then it's fun for whatever way you do it. But that's the idea behind it. But it doesn't end there, because I have got 4 amazing books that I'm highlighting. So if you read a highlighted book, you get an extra 5 points. So you could just read 1 book. There we go. If you read Lizzie and Belle Mystery for a middle grade book, you get 10 points because you've read 1 book for Journey-athon. But you get 5 points because it's one of the inspiration books behind Journey-athon. So altogether, you get 15 points. So obviously you've got a maximum of, if you read 4 books for Journey-athon and they're all the inspiration books, then you would get 20 points for reading inspiration books. And then you'd get 13 for having 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 10. So you'd get a total of 33. So what I have, so I've only got draft ones at the moment, but I will be putting this in a proper document. So I've got a little graph here. So showing, how many, that's probably confusing because I've started at 5. So it's my lovely notes. So this would be like how many books you intend to read. And then this is like logging through how many books you actually read, and then what the points will be worth for that book, depending what you thought, and then your total. And then your total including if any of those books are an inspiration book. So you have a maximum of 56 points and a minimum of 10 points for this readathon. Again, we'll do a document with all the points on it. But do ask me if it's confusing, because it probably is at the moment. It sounds confusing. It's hopefully when you see the visual, it will be more straightforward. And the points, at the moment, it's just fun to get points. So again, you can log that in all your reading. But like I said, if this is really fun and I do it again next year, which I'm really hoping to, then those points will mean something next year. So you will start Journey-athon with a bag of points, and those points will transform into other things. So there is a purpose to the points, hopefully. If they're always terribly wrong and I have some sort of breakdown on BookTube from trying to do this, then I'm probably not going to do it for next year, because that might be a little bit crazy. But I'm hoping this is all the confusing bit when I'm organising it, and then when we get to the readathon, it's just going to be fun reading books and chatting to you all. So I'm hopeful it'll all work out well. Now, live sprints, that's the last thing I need to talk about. Yes, so I am planning on doing 5 live sprints. So I'm planning on Friday, June the 30th, which is British summertime, Greenwich Mean Time, University Common Time, whatever all the different versions of it are called. But here in the UK at midnight, I will kick off this readathon with a live show, and I will read with you. I will do live sprints until 2:30 a.m. So I'll do 2.5 hours of live sprints to start us off. Thursday the 6th of July, I will do sprints from UK midday until 2:30 in the afternoon. Saturday the 8th of July, I have not put a time in, which is interesting. So I'll get back to you on that one. But I intend to do some sprints on Saturday the 8th of July, but that will be like a, again, it'll be like British summertime evening sprints, i.e. once my kids are in bed is kind of the plan. Then Monday the 10th of July, I will again sprint from midday until 2:30. And then Friday the 14th of July, which will be our final day of Journey-athon, I will be sprinting from 8:30 until midnight. So I really hope you can join me for some lives. It will be lots of fun. I love talking to all you lovely lot on lives and reading in company. I've not done sprints before, so this is going to be fun. If you are a booktuber that wants to do sprints for Journey-athon, please do. I would love that. Again, my laptop is ancient and decrepit, so I would love to invite people to sprint with me, but I don't have the technology to do that. But, you know, please do your own sprints. That'll be amazing. I will promote them. I will try and come in where I can and like join in the comments. That would be awesome. So I think that is everything I needed to say. I think I've covered everything. But please do get chatty in the comments about whether or not you are going to be joining us, or whether you appreciate it but it's not really the readathon for you, or you've got too many other readathons and you're busy. We'd still love to hear from you anyway. If you've got this far, if you watched all of the first part of this unintended parts announcement video for Journey-athon, and you have also got to this point here in the second part, then please put a compass and a map as the emojis in the comments box, so I know how many people got this far, because I'm always interested to see that. And feel free to have a chat. You know I love a chat, and you can chat to me in the comments. You can also chat to me on Discord as well. And happy reading, everyone, and good luck, adventurers, ready for the journey.